What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And today is part 8 and 9 of the 82-part series where I will be recapping every single Knicks game from this season. And a couple days ago, they squared off with the San Antonio Spurs and the Charlotte Hornets. And I'm here to recap both of those wins for the Knicks, both at home and both dominant performances. So we're going to start with the win against the Spurs on national TV. Victor Wembanyama's Garden debut. And it wasn't a great debut for him. He only went 4 of 14 from the field. And I give a lot of credit of that to Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein. They were both locked down on the defensive end in this one. And both did what they needed to slow down the alien, as LeBron James calls him, Victor Wembanyama. Now, it wasn't only Wemby that was the big factor in this one. The Knicks' big three finally got off the mat, and they finally got going in this one. We've needed them to get going. RJ's been good, but Brunson and Randall, they haven't been consistent enough. And they finally got back to what they needed to be doing in this one. All three of them produced a good amount. Randall had 23. Brunson had 25. Barrett had 24. If they could do that every game, I don't know what's stopping them from going out and making a deep playoff run. Because as of right now, I know it's still incredibly early to tell, but they're tied with the Bucks in the East. Now the Bucks haven't been doing good, but the Bucks are also a team who have Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard, two of the best players in the NBA. But with those guys all producing and doing what we need them to do, it was the other bench guys that took advantage of the lackluster defense of the Spurs. Quickly, he had a huge three. Or no, it wasn't a three. It was a high pick and roll. He came down and he hit a mid-range off of it. And then he went and dapped up Spike Lee, who was sitting courtside, which I thought was a really cool play. And a good way to pay homage to one of the greatest Knicks fans in the world. They say the Knicks have the greatest fans in the world. They play in the most famous arena in the world. And they really do have both of those things. The Garden, there's nothing like the energy in there when it's a close game and a meaningful game down the stretch. And I just want to talk about Victor Wembanyama for a second, because he said the Garden was smaller than he thought it was going to be, and the lights weren't that bright. Well, Wemby, I guess the lights were a little bit brighter than he thought, because obviously he didn't produce much in this game. Wemby, gotta be careful what you say with the reporters nowadays, because if you say something like that and then you go out and you get cooked by a team, that's not how he wants to be seen. He doesn't want to be a villain, I don't think, at least yet. And saying that kind of stuff is what's going to make people think he is a villain. He said it was smaller. I don't know what he's talking about. The Garden's the greatest arena in the world. The Garden is the best arena in the NBA. And it's not even because of the venue. It's because of the fans that are inside of it. The energy in there is unmatched. And I've been there for a couple really good games. So, I think that the Garden is definitely the best arena in the world. But getting back to the actual game, I talked a little bit about the big three. I still want to stay on that topic because Barrett, he's still playing out of his mind. RJ Barrett, is playing at a level we've never seen him play at before. RJ Barrett is the second leading scorer on this team. RJ Barrett has developed a three-point shot, and he's leading the Knicks in points right now. And he's doing it at an efficient rate also. He's not taking 25 shots a game and scoring that way. RJ Barrett is shooting he's shooting 48% from the field. And that's big for a player like RJ, who we were uncertain of coming into the season. And a player who we didn't know what he was going to be able to do, and if he was going to be able to stay in a Knick uniform for much longer. I thought his time as a Knick could have been coming to an end faster than we would have expected after taking him number 3 overall in the 2019 draft. But if RJ can keep this up, and he might be a Knick for a long time. RJ just signed a deal last offseason that I think it was a 5-year deal. And he's going to be able... I thought after last season that they were not going to pick up his option whenever it is. But he's playing really well right now. Really well. And that he's given us what we needed. And it's not just that RJ's the only guy scoring. In some games he has been, but in this one, he did a really good job playing off Brunson, playing with Randall. Guys who need the ball more than he does. Because Randall or Barrett is someone he's gonna cut, he's gonna screen, he's gonna do whatever the team needs him to, just like all these other guys on the Knicks, because that's what the Knicks culture is, and that's what Tibbs preaches, and that's what everybody tells them to do in that organization. But RJ has taken a leap for sure this year, and that's going to be huge for the Knicks. Because after the first couple games, when he went down, I was worried about this team. They, I think they lost 2 out of the 3 games he missed. One to the Cavs and one to the Spurs, or to the Bucks in the in-season tournament. But he's back now, and he's playing really well. The Spurs, to be honest, they're not that great of a team. And to be honest, the Spurs, they're just not supposed to be on the same court as the Knicks. They're just not as good. The Knicks are a better team, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. The Spurs, they're okay. I mean, Wemby, he's been fine. He hasn't been the LeBron James level of talent that everybody was saying he's going to be. But he's been good, I guess. And he's been a little bit mid, I guess, more mid than I thought he was going to be. Because I don't know how much I was buying into the hype. I don't think it was a ton. But it's not great for Wemby right now. He's not playing incredibly well. He's playing well, but he could be playing better. And the Spurs are not, their record is not really good at all right now. So they need him to play better, and they need a lot of change in that team, because there was just no shooting. There was no defense. Jeremy Sohan is good, I guess, Tyus Jones, I guess, but there's no true veteran presence on this team. And if you're expecting a 19-year-old in Victor Wembanyama to lead your team to the playoffs, that's just not a realistic dream at all. So the Knicks win that one, 126-105. Get right on the season, and they get back to 500 with that one. And I just want to talk about the Giants a little bit before I get into the Hornets game. So the Giants, they've struggled all year long. They haven't done anything really well except that second half in Arizona. And the last week it didn't get any better with the news of Daniel Jones going on the IL. And they had to play a really good team in the Cowboys on Sunday. And it didn't get much better for them. They lost 49-17, which means they've lost both of those games against the Cowboys a combined 89-17. They're losing the series with the Cowboys by 72. 72. Not even the Broncos lost that bad to the Dolphins. That's insane to me. But I don't think Dayball's going to be on the hot seat. I think his job is safe. But they're going to take a quarterback in this draft. I'm still deciding whether I want them to take Drake May or Caleb Williams if he's still available. And my thinking is, if the Panthers get the number 1 overall pick, they already have a quarterback. They took Bryce Young first overall last year. I would think that they go out and they draft Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State. And then if the Giants have the 2nd or 3rd pick, because that's what it's going to be, they're going to have a top 4 or 5 pick, you got to go Drake May or Caleb Williams, whoever's available. I don't know about Caleb Williams. I know he has the size, and that's what Bryce Young does not have. But USC's lost a lot of games. They haven't been playing extremely well. They're 5th in the Pac-12 right now. And they just lost again to Oregon 36-17. And they're unranked right now. So there might be a little worry over Caleb Williams. I still think he's going to be an okay quarterback. I just don't know if he's going to be that superstar quarterback everybody thought he was going to be coming into the college football season. So right now I'm leaning a little bit towards Drake May, but it's close, and I'm sure it'll change by the time we get to the draft. All right, getting to the Knicks game. So the Knicks got their 3rd win in a row, playing against the Hornets yesterday at the Garden. I was lucky enough to be in attendance for this blowout of a win for the Knicks. And this time, it was 2nd overall pick who got his turn to get defeated in the Garden and blown out in the Garden. It was Brandon Miller's turn, although he only lasted 10 minutes into the game before he got injured on a high ankle sprain. He should be fine after a couple games. I mean, ankle sprains are common in basketball. It wasn't like it was one of these bad injuries like a ACL tear, MCL, Achilles, like we've seen so many of in football this year. But I thought he looked okay for those first 10 minutes. They started him out guarding Brunson, and Brunson, he was kind of cooking early. He was taking advantage of the big on him and getting around and scoring a lot of points on all 3 levels. Just like Randall was. Randall did a good job of scoring on all 3 levels also. And it all happened because of such good defense again from the Knicks. This team is playing such good defense. and it's turning into offense. They forced 12 Hornets turnovers, and they turned that into 22 fast break points. That's huge for the Knicks. That's huge. And it's the guys working together. One play, Hartenstein has a big block off the backboard. RJ gets the board, and he's already off in transition. And Randall and Quickly are already down the court running with him. That's the continuity that we were talking about before the season started. This is what we need. This was the Knicks basketball I was expecting. Great win for the Knicks yesterday. And I know the Hornets are not that great of a team, but LaMelo Ball looked really good. And it wasn't just that he looked good, he looked smooth with the ball. He looked like a magician, which, if he wasn't on that bad of a team, he could be he still is a really good player, but he could be an even better player. And it was fun to watch him. He came down the court, second possession. Maybe it was the third. They were already losing by like 4 or 5 points. He hits a deep three, and then he starts celebrating. Like, why is he doing that? They're already losing. To be fair, it was like 7 feet behind the 3-point line, and he hit a little ice in his veins kind of thing. It was a kind of cool celebration, but it just wasn't warranted. And then he did the same thing in the fourth quarter when they were already down 25 points, which I don't know why, and I don't know how he thinks that he should be doing that. He should be getting back on defense and trying to get his team back in this game. Because with the NBA today, it's a game of runs. The Hornets could have gotten back into that game. And he doesn't provide enough defense. And that's the only thing that's holding him back right now. His offense is really good. And it was fun to watch him, especially because the Knicks won. If I watched him play like that and then the Knicks lost, I would not be saying the same stuff. I would have been mad at the way that the Knicks defended him. And I still am a little bit. I thought Grimes should have been playing him tighter. He got by Grimes a couple times early in the first half. And throughout the whole first half, really. So I think we got to cut that off and keep playing the way Grimes has got to stop worrying so much about offense, I think, and just focus all of his energy on defense, because that's what we need him for more. It looks like we have the firepower on offense now to go get enough points to win a game. We had 129 in this one. And big shout out to Mitchell Robinson. 10 points in this one. And you would think he got a double-double with that, right? Nah, he had 9 rebounds. So close to a double-double for Robinson. But I feel like he has more rebounds that don't count. Like tip-outs and stuff like that don't count as a rebound. But give the Knicks the ball. And just overall hustle plays that don't go on the box score, but plays that impact the team in a positive manner. A couple big wins for the Knicks these last couple days. They beat the Hornets 129-107, and the Spurs 126-105, and looking to continue that against the Boston Celtics, a team that they lost to on opening night. Now going up to Boston to play the Celtics, and I want my revenge this game. Our offense is gelling and they're clicking at the right time. The free throw shooting was terrible down the stretch of that last game that we played them, but I know this team is capable of winning a game, even though the Celtics are such a good team. I want revenge tonight against the Celtics. Give me the Knicks. Come on, I think Brunson, he wants revenge. He didn't play well down that stretch. Randall, although he said something came out about him saying that he was playing at 70%, the whole season and resisted the Knicks' attempts to rest him. It shows how tough he is. But I mean, at that point, when you're not producing well and you're not playing at, you're not healthy, I think you got to sit out for a game, get right, and then come back in. Because if that's the reason, I'm not as mad, but I'm still mad that he didn't sit out. And I want Barrett to going back to the Celtics game, I want Randall to continue doing what he's doing, and I want Barrett, who's been the most consistent Knick this season, to show that what he's been doing and do it against a team like the Celtics. And last thing, I want Mitchell Robinson to lock up Kristaps Porzingis, Tingus Pingus, the former Knick. Let's go Knicks tonight. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm your host, Ben Ballion, and that was the Sports Pod.